guys, welcome to my YouTube channel today. My name is Toyin. Please comment, like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I post great content. To all my existing subscribers, thank you very much indeed for joining the channel. To all my new subscribers, welcome. Now today I'm actually going to be talking to you guys about beaninsidecentral.com. Well, if you've watched some of my videos, you will notice I was saying, oh, my business, beaninsidecentral.com. Oh, my business, beaninsidecentral.com. Well, some people might have gone and taken the initiative to go and check out what beaninsidecentral.com is. Well, today, this segment is actually going to be dedicated to beaninsidecentral.com. So I'm going to be talking to you guys about what Bean Inside Central is, who's on the team, and why we do what we do. And I'm also going to be talking to you guys about some of the products that I sell and how to make a French press. It's one of the easiest specialty coffee to make at home. Okay, let's go. Bean Inside Central is an e-commerce platform. It sells specialty high-grade coffee. It also sells coffee tumblers. It sells face masks, and it also sells face masks that you obviously put on your face. But I will showcase some of the products that are sold later on down the video. In 2018, what I started off doing first off was obviously doing a lot of marketing and trying to build up my channel, which I did. And then obviously I had trials and errors in obviously trying to launch a website using WordPress, which never got launched, and another website using WordPress, which never got launched. It eventually got launched later on last year. Prior to obviously me launching the channel back in 2019, I obviously tested out whether or not I would be able to sell coffee tumblers and coffee related products, and I was able to do so. So I just thought to myself, do you know what, adding coffee to this is just going to be the icing on the cake. But at that time I didn't actually have a coffee I didn't have a coffee seller on board at the time. So I think it was March 2020, I got contacted by a coffee seller in Mexico via Instagram. He was like, oh, do you think you could actually help and assist me with promoting and selling my product? So my coffee, I want to be known to the world. I was like, well, yeah, why not? Come bring it to me, bring me the coffee. So he sent me my first batch of coffee. Now, before I even decided, okay, this is the batch I'm actually going to go with, I sent it to a few people to get a kind of an overall kind of view to see what people thought about the coffee. And obviously some they liked and some they didn't like. So the ones that was kind of popular amongst the masses of people that I sent it out to is the ones that I actually went with. I've done it for about a year. And his coffee is very, 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 very good. So I've done that for about a year, and all I did was try to build up my kind of presence in social media. So I started with Instagram, building up my social presence. At that time, I hadn't launched a website at all. I attempted to launch a website using WordPress, but that obviously got canned, primarily because we was using a template called Docken. We used a template called Docken, and I remember when I was contacting these people that had this template called Docken, there were many features that Docken didn't have, that the template didn't have, and I thought to myself, you know what, I can't deal with this. And this is obviously when I had the issue with the developer taking it to India and all that malarkey, so it just got canned. So I started it again, and this time I went with GoDaddy, to be fair. I went with GoDaddy, I spoke to GoDaddy, and I was like, GoDaddy said they had like a little portal that you could go on and you could pick up a developer up there. So I tried again to obviously pick up a developer there, and I fell into the same issues. And this developer was actually based in Romania. His name was Labusi Danot, and I had the same issues with him. So the issues that I had with him was the simple fact that the smallest task was taking far too long to do, and every time we had like a deadline, the deadline would be extended. And obviously you have to bear in mind, obviously when you pick up a developer, they work on a part-time basis. So like simple things were taking far too long to get done, and the deadline was getting pushed back further and further and further. Constantly want to do screen shares, but nothing's never getting done. So I said to the guy who was based in Romania, do you know what? I'm not doing this. This doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't take this long. I know that. You know that. You're just taking the mic. So that project got canned as well. So it never got launched. And then I tried it on my home turf, getting somebody to do it. Again, I actually tried 3 times to build a website using WordPress. And they were dragging their feet. And I didn't understand, why would you be dragging your feet? It doesn't make any sense. They said to me, just go with the flow. When they said to me, go with the flow, I knew instantly something was wrong. So I was thinking, why? Because they were saying to me they wanted to create a site and then create another site. Why would you create 2 sites for one person? That doesn't make any sense. So you create a site within a site. For what reason? They just said to me, just go with the flow. Sometimes you just don't need to ask questions. You just, stop right there. And the reason why I'm saying to stop right there, because it's my name that's on the paperwork. I just don't go with the flow. So I think this is another reason why it's taking me so long to kind of put Bean Inside Central out there and then everything else like that. Because it's just me one, and obviously my business partner, silent partner. What I found with the developers is like the last developer that was based here in the UK, the one before that built this site, I found that, why do you want to build a site within a site and then you're telling me to go with the flow? That made me realise that, okay, do you know what? Something's off and that project is going to get canned because I don't know what you're doing. Because what you're saying to me doesn't make any sense. And this is one of the reasons why, as an entrepreneur, I had to learn the basics. People's like, oh, why do you want to learn how to do this? Why do you know? Because if anything goes wrong with the website, I can say, okay, do you know what? I need you to do this, or I need you to do this. This is why it's important that when you're obviously building a website, you only have one person doing it. Because if anything goes wrong, you can go to that one person. But if you have 4, 5, 6, 7 people trying to build or help you build a website, essentially there's a saying that. So that got canned. And after that, I just thought to myself, let me just concentrate on social media, build up my social presence, and just to get a feel for how people like coffee. As I was doing that, I also started to say to myself, do you know what? Try and see if how people react or take to the coffee products that you wanted to sell. So I would go and make coffee products. I started off, got the patterns up on everything on them, and it worked. So after that, I thought to myself, do you know what? Having coffee to this kind of whole Tumblr type thing that I've got going on, or coffee related products things that I've got going on, is a big game changer. I'm calling a lot of different establishments and saying, look, I'm a coffee supplier, I sell coffee, I can sell it to you in the kilos, how much do you go through in a month? How much you go through annually? Do you go through 20 keys a month? Do you know what I mean? Just to try to get a general consensus. And it was like, yeah, this sounds really brilliant. Some of them had contracts running already with other coffee companies, but they were due to expire. So I thought, okay, do you know what? Let me wait for that expiration date for some of these contracts, and then I will revisit that in the new year. Situational bubble that everybody's found themselves in globally. I basically tried to rethink where I want it to go. So everything that I wanted to do initially, I've had to strip it down to the bare minimum of all my ideas and basically put it into one. So at the moment, it's just an e-commerce store. It's a very, very basic, very, very simple website. However, that will change in due time. What I'm going to do now is actually show you guys the platform, what it looks like, how it works, and yeah. Type in Bean Inside Central. I just want to make it abundantly clear to you guys, we do not work with any UK, US, European, or Australian coffee roasters. We've never worked with anyone besides the coffee roaster in Mexico.
So what happens is you will land on our homepage. So this is essentially our homepage. Um, we talk about this page is obviously for coffee lovers, coffee enthusiasts, coffee geeks, and just people that are new to coffee, don't really know what the big hype is about coffee. Um, and yeah, so this is about. So this is the homepage. You land on this page, and this is essentially the homepage. When you get onto the homepage, it basically is talking to people that are coffee lovers, coffee enthusiasts, and people that don't know much about coffee and want to know what the big hype is. Um, it's your neighborhood coffee shop online and selling convenient coffee. So that could be French press, Chemex, V60 blends, and V60 blends. So all these three things that I've mentioned, French press, Chemex, and V60 blends, are equipment used to consume coffee. And these equipments make coffee taste different, obviously depending on what kind of brewing method you're actually using, but I will obviously explain that in another video. I didn't mention that we obviously worked with a coffee seller in Mexico. We use his coffee, and we are also promoting, or we're gonna revisit or promoting, um, the coffee seller in Indonesia. So the one call to action is buy now. So if you click on this screen, I'm obviously looking at it from a laptop, so it's obviously going to look like this. Obviously, you're looking at it from a mobile device or iOS or Android, it's obviously going to be different. So we've obviously got the tumbler and the coarse grounded coffee. We've got the coffee scrub. We've got the Chemex ground coffee. So when I'm talking about Chemex, when I talk about French press, when I talk about V60, AeroPress, these are all brewing methods in which you can use to consume your coffee. Okay? I just want to make a note to you that Bean Inside Central does not sell coffee beans online. It doesn't do that. So we don't sell coffee beans online, but we do sell coffee beans, but not online. Um, we sell convenience coffee because online is all about convenience, and we sell convenient coffee online on the go because we don't believe that um, we think life is easy. There's no need to make it complicated. I know people obviously like using equipment to obviously ground their coffee and everything else like that. However, essentially, that is not what we're doing here. Um, so once you click the page, the buy now, you end up on this page, and we have a small selection of coffee. We sell coffee ground. We do not sell coffee beans online. The only reason being that we don't sell coffee beans online, because we're all about convenience. We live in a world where people want convenient things. So why make life complicated when it doesn't necessarily need to be? So that's what we sell coffee grounds online, but we do sell coffee beans, but you'll obviously have the emails pertaining to coffee beans. Now, let's move on. So these are some of the products that we have. Obviously, we have coffee scrubs. Um, to obviously put on your face. We've got the Chemex coffee grounds. We've got coffee tumblers. Um, we've got coffee tumblers. What else do we have? We have face masks because obviously, even though we are getting back to normal slowly but surely, it's obviously important that we still keep ourselves safe. So we obviously got your face masks. We got the V60 grounded coffee. We got the Chemex grounded coffee, and most importantly of all, we have coffee tea bags. Yes, you can get coffee in tea bags. So we do have the coffee tea bags, and it's green coffee tea bags, and it's all about um, helping people or showcasing to people that you can actually lose weight by taking green coffee tea bags. So that aids in weight loss. So obviously your call to action, obviously once you've added stuff to your basket, would be just to add and then press continue. And then obviously here the coffee menu extras. These is showcasing coffee from Indonesia. This is from an individual by the name of Racha. Um, yeah, so he sells raw coffee beans. Obviously, you got to roast them yourself. However, we can roast coffee for you, but that will obviously be a special order. You will have to email us in pertaining to coffee beans because we're all about convenience. We do sell to not only individuals, but we do sell to establishments. Um, yeah, we do sell to establishments as well. Obviously, these are our social media handles at the bottom. We've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. We're going to add a couple more later on down the line, such as Twitch. I think it's very important to add on there. So when you go up here to the three lines, you will see a drop down menu, and we'll have a list of tabs. The first tab's about us. Obviously, about us talks about who we are. And we are a company that thinks that technology is key. Technology is the future. And technology is definitely the future, especially we believe that technology is the future. Let me just leave it at that. Let me not just go into too much detail, but we believe that technology is the future. We obviously showcased you some of our coffee products. We've obviously showcased you some of the coffee extras, the coffee and the coffee shop blog. So basically, I've written blogs pertaining to my thoughts on the coffee industry, in particular coffee shops, and what I think of them and whether they're a thing of the past. So do have a read of that and tell me what you think. You can tweet me on Twitter at bean_inside. I'll talk about coffee and technology. I think technology is a very imperative, very, very imperative to have in this day and age. And it's not just necessarily building Python or anything like that, building frameworks such as Django or just building, it's not necessarily just about building frameworks, it's about incorporating the new technology. So at the moment, there's new technology. So coffee, there's new technology being built all the time, especially in the crypto space. But yet again, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but technology, it will be a game changer for the coffee industry. Okay, so those are my thoughts. Anyway, let's move on. I'll talk about the terms and conditions of the website. Please do have a read of that. It tells you everything that you need to know at the time of purchase. And most importantly of all, we have decided to be on WhatsApp. The reason why we decided to be on WhatsApp, this is our WhatsApp telephone number. Should you wish to talk to us about any products or anything on the platform, do download WhatsApp if you got iOS in your App Store or Google Play Store. Download it onto your phone, store this number because this is our business number, and you can obviously chat to us about some of the products we have on the platform. Okay, so that's that done. And our email address. Our email address is ateam@beaninsidecentral.com. I can't log into it now because I'm not actually logged in via on my laptop via my work email. So the email address is ateam, as in the film, ateam at, no, don't say it is in the film, but the website, our email address is ateam@beaninsidecentral.com. So should you wish to talk to us about anything related to coffee or anything of that nature, do drop us an email. So as you can see, the website is static, but obviously that will change soon, and we'll obviously move it to it being a more dynamic website. Obviously, if you scroll down to the page, we've got our. If you scroll down to this page, you can see the cookies and privacy policy. It's there. The terms and conditions there, about us, our telephone number on WhatsApp, and our email address, which is ateam@beaninsidecentral.com. We can obviously be found on Company's House. Yeah, and these are our social media handles. They are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. We are looking to have more social media platforms such as Discord, Twitch. Um, yeah, there's loads of social media platforms, because I did explain in one of my videos that the people that use one platform might not necessarily use another. So the more platforms you're able to put yourself on and manage, the more likely you are to garner and attract a different audience from your usual um so I don't know. So basically, we are currently on these social media platforms, but we are moving. We are also going to put ourselves at some point on other platforms, social media platforms, because we think that it's very important that you diversify and not put all your eggs in one basket. So yeah, so that is essentially what we are doing. We do have Facebook, but like I did say in my other video, we obviously have to sort that out. But yeah, that's our page. It's a very simple website. It's not a blog. I need to reiterate that it is not a blog. It is an e-commerce platform. It's just a static e-commerce platform at this minute in time. Yeah. So this is our website. What we're gonna do, we're gonna add more products to the platform. So that will be done as well. So this is the platform in a nutshell.
So who's on Being Inside Central? At the moment, it's just myself and my business partner is a silent partner. He doesn't really get involved unless there's an issue or something of that nature. But me predominantly, I'm the one that is doing everything. I just go to him to touch base if I don't understand something, or he could better explain something to me. So yeah, so just the two of us. I did outsource my videos to a videographer who's a freelancer, and he's absolutely brilliant. But due to COVID and cost of prices, having to pay bills and everything else like that, I had to strip that back and sort out my priorities. So any work that needs to be done, we outsource it. So for our business page, for our YouTube channel, we've got Being Inside Central, and obviously the videos that were done there, I've obviously put them together, but it's a videographer that comes in, he does all the edits and everything else. So we don't actually have a permanent person on board. Everything is we just outsource. Yeah, because we can't afford to have people on our books. That's just too costly, too many overheads that we do not need, especially when you got to pay bills. So now, what do I do on a daily basis? So my day sometimes consists of social media. Now I'm trying to outsource my work and waiting for someone to actually get back to me as I'm saying this to you. But with social media, I try to do it myself as much as I possibly can. All my videos that I've put out on YouTube, I've done myself. I'm telling you this now. I did not know how to film, how to edit, or anything like that. I'm still a work in progress. But I like it and I enjoy it. I had to learn Final Cut Pro in a week because I thought to myself, I've done 21 videos. I saved myself $2,000 because I forced myself to learn how to do Final Cut Pro. Just like I'm going to talk to you about, I'm going to show you the products.
Yeah, this cup's amazing. Keeps it hot. I've had this for about half an hour and it's still really hot. I made this half an hour ago. I've been messing around on my phone, doing different things, and it's still not gone cold. Although it's got a hole in it, and it's quite firm. I love it. I've got one in my car, one at the bar, so that I can have coffee whenever I want, and it keeps it warm, especially when I'm busy and I'm chatting with people or I'm serving drinks. It's keeping my drink warm. Being inside Central is where I got this cup from, and what a brilliant discovery.
I got this cup from Being Inside Central, and what I think of the cup, I think the texture that is smooth on the outside is amazing, and it keeps the coffee very warm, at least for an hour. Great service. What I think of the cup is it's really good because it keeps the coffee warm. And do I recommend it? Yes, I do, because it's not the normal cup you just go and buy out in one of the retail stores. It's unique. It's got a really good shape to it. It's easy to handle.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sido Nikoloko from Sido Hespa. The mask that I'm wearing is from Beanside Sensor. A lovely soft mask that is protecting you from any virus. You know, from this time around, everybody should be wearing masks, and then I choose to wear this one because it's the best one I've been wearing since I started wearing masks.
I'm going to show you guys how to make a French press. Now, before I do show you guys how to make a French press, this is how not to make coffee. If you're going to get coffee grounds, right, from your local, from your plug, beaninsidecentral.com, you do not boil, because I've seen people do this, they boil the kettle. Once the kettle's finished boiling, they obviously essentially open up their bag. I'm just going to open up a bag for you now. Ooh, child. They open up their bag, get a spoon, they open up their bag, they get a spoon, and what they do is this. I'm having speciality coffee like this. And I'm telling you this now, this is how you do not want to be doing your speciality coffee. Why should you be having the granules of the coffee like this? When you have, say for example, you decide to buy Nescafe coffee, the granules melt inside the hot water. Speciality coffee doesn't do that. So it doesn't matter how much you stir it, the granules are not going to go away, because this is not how it's meant to be consumed. If you're having speciality coffee, it's an experience. I've seen a lot of people do that. So that's not how you do it. Basically, what you need to be doing is have a French press. So this is essentially what a French press is. You can pick up one of these bad boys and add stuff. But this is essentially what a French press is. There's obviously different variants of French press, but they all kind of do the same thing. They all do the same thing. Okay? So you do not experience speciality coffee like this. You do not pour it out like you're having a cup of Nescafe coffee at home and then just pour it in here. Do not do that, please, because you're just messing up the whole experience. Speciality coffee is an experience. Right. Now that we've got that clear, I'm going to show you how to make speciality coffee. Let's go. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to make speciality coffee. Let me just throw let me show you how to make speciality coffee. So first off, you need a French press. This is what a French press essentially looks like, right? So you have a French press, and then what you need to do is get your coffee. Your French press. What you can do is essentially, once you've opened the bag, if you don't have one of those sealer things or a clipper to seal your bags, what you can essentially do is pour it into a container such as this. There's nothing wrong with pouring it into a container such as this. It does the same job. Anybody that told you any different, well, I don't know what to say about that. So you pour your coffee in there. Okay, there's so much coffee in this, it smells so good. Anyway, a lot of people say, oh, buy coffee beans, and actually grind them before. Okay, let's put that away. So a lot of people say you can get coffee beans and grind them and all of that type of stuff. You don't need to. All you need to do is buy a medium coarse. If you want to enjoy a French press, you need coarse medium grounds. Is have a medium roast that is grounded. It's already grounded, so you don't have to worry about faffing about. People say, oh, it's just the experience. No. each their own. I can't say no, don't do that. If you want to buy coffee beans, it's entirely up to you, and you want to be faffing around grinding the beans, that's entirely up to you if you love that experience. But to me, it doesn't make any sense. Why make life complicated? It's so unnecessary. Have your grounded beans already grounded. Put in an airtight container such as this. Let me just pop this away for a second. So you put in an airtight container such as this. You need 1 to 2 tablespoons of grounded coffee. Some people like to be all kind of. Some people like to measure it out and stuff. You don't have to measure it out. Well, I don't. 1, 2. Then you boil a hot water. Approximately 118 milliliters. If you want to measure it out, that's entirely up to you. Just bear with me. 180 milliliters of water. Sorry, I had to go away. So you've got 180 milliliters of water. You got your grounded there. You got your grounded coffee there. And then what you do is get your kettle that's already boiled, and then pour it in here. And then put a bit more water actually. So you put 180. Oh God. So you put 180 milliliters of water for every 1 tablespoon or every 4 ounces that you put in. So I'm gonna leave it, let it brew for 4 minutes. Let's count 4 minutes. Okay, once that's all done, what you then need to do is apply your plunger, put your plunger in. Get your plunger ready. And then what you do is press this down slowly. As you're pressing it down slowly, what happens is all the water will rise to the top and all the coffee granules will go to the bottom. And then you pour. Some people like to be very artistic. And oh God. Some people like to be very artistic. As you notice, as I'm pouring it, not 1 coffee granule pouring it into the water. Because what the French press does, essentially, the plunger essentially acts as a compressor to press all the coffee all the way down to the bottom. So all you're left with is the actual great coffee. Now that's how you make a French press. Thank you very much. Look at this. And obviously, if someone wants to add sugar to it, you can add sugar to it, you can add milk to it. But I'll tell you this now, great coffee requires